Welcome back to State of Nature podcast.
It's nice to see you again after a few minutes, but for the listeners, about 4 weeks.
We are your number one comedy climate podcast, hosted by kids.
You say comedy, but I wouldn't really say we have comedic skills.
Viewers don't. But anyways, just a disclaimer for this. These are all so if we do say anything that you're the biggest fan of, please don't feel offended.
So today we will be talking about the useless conference called GUT-SCYTHE or G7 to any scythe on.
Yes.
They probably think it's a rude word, sorry.
No, it's just a word for English people in Welsh.
Moving.
We know it was a few weeks ago, but it's still an important topic. But before all of that, let's get the latest nature.
Hundreds of anti-logging protesters arrested in Canada.
Friends of the Earth, this was a month ago, I don't know. Friends of the Earth have won a court fight thing with Shell. Shell will have to cut their climate emissions by 45% in the next 10 years, which is not a lot, to be honest.
And lastly, oil and gas donors gave over 400,000 to Tories before North Sea decision.
So, what is G7 summit?
The G7 stands for the Group of Seven, and it's a gathering of government leaders from some of the world's richest nations. The countries which make up the G7 have met each year since the 1970s. The 2021 summit was the 47th meeting to take place, and the first to be held in the UK since 2013. The group used to be known as G8 until Russia was expelled in 2014 over its annexations of Crimea.
And how is this to do with climate change? Well, because they discuss problems facing the world, including economic issues, health emergencies, and the climate crisis.
But do they actually do anything with the climate emergency? Yes? No.
So what's your opinion on the G7 summit? Can I go?
Not entirely sure.
Can I go first?
Yeah, either. I feel like... Yeah, go on.
They make, for example, COP26, whatever, they make them so people think the government are doing good for the environment.
That's what I was going to say.
They're actually just meeting up to give each other bikes.
It's literally just the same thing as all of the other meetings. They're just there to pretend that they're actually doing something for the climate emergency, even though they're only doing tiny. If they are, they're only doing the tiniest thing ever. And I feel like it's just like, again, like, they're just going there just to show everybody that they're doing something for the climate emergency, even though they're not. That's what I think.
I agree with you.
Did they set any laws down? Like, for example, the Paris Agreement, they set targets. Did they do anything like that?
I did find what they announced this year in terms of climate change. So the G7 nations have agreed to step up action on climate change and renewed a pledge to raise 100 billion a year to help poor countries cut emissions. But that makes no sense because the poorer countries can't get the money to release emissions. They
haven't even got the. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. The rich countries should spend the money they do have cutting emissions. It makes absolutely no sense.
So is this going towards like renewable energy stuff?
Well, guess what? I saw this thing. The poorest country in the world is the greenest. They're fully renewable energy. They're fully green. Barely any pollution. And
that's where I want to live.
Point is, they're setting stuff that make you think, oh, they're doing good for the environment. Get in, they're actually doing something. But if you look at the wider picture, it's they're not actually doing
They're like
anything.
doing that compared to what is need is just
It's
nothing.
like a smallest fraction, and
Yeah.
Like,
for smaller
it's
countries,
it's literally just nothing compared to what they actually need to discuss, need to do, and yeah.
and also they are going to end funding of nuclear generation in developing countries and offer up to £2 billion pounds or $2.8 billion to stop using the fuel. So coal fuel, coal is the world's dirtiest major fuel, and and ending its use is seen as a major step by environmentalists. But they said countries that are developing. So not like Britain, America. Again, poorer countries.
So the biggest polluters, they're not going to stop.
No. The UK uses coal. They're not going to do anything about that. It's the poorer countries that
Which literally the amount of CO2 or like carbon dioxide they actually admit into the atmosphere is nothing, and then they give money for them to it's annoying in a way.
Is it 2 billion for every country, or just all around the world? Because if it's all around the world, that is absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
Not sure.
Yeah, I'm not very sure. I know. Should we move on?
Quiz time. So, this quiz only has 2 questions, but they are the most 2 incredible sentences you will ever hear in your entire life. Right. So, cover your ears, any of your young listeners. Chavan, do you have anyone else in the room?
No.
You sure? Okay. So my first question is, why the actual do they bother making this bloody stupid depressed Cornwall Pasty meeting about climate change when Sloppy Joe comes in a jumbo jet?
I do get it.
So inspirational.
Exactly.
Yeah, that
inspirational. That's what I should put for the geography assignment.
amazing.
It's worth 1 billion likes on Instagram for that speech. It's so inspirational,
definitely.
as I said.
Yeah.
And my second question is, was I a bit too angry there?
Yes.
No.
Thank you.
I feel like you're a bit angry, but at the same time,
it's worth it. Like, I'm angry for a reason.
Yeah.
Scientists have announced that at the rate climate change is happening, and at the rate that the UK is causing climate change, we have no hope in saving the planet.
So that's why the UK government joins these climate talks to seem that they are doing good for the environment, but they are not.
So, again, I said they're, well, like we said, they're joining them to. It's greenwashing, really.
Yeah, they're just pretending they're doing something for more publicity, to be more popular and more people to like them, even though they're obviously not doing anything. And again, I find that really annoying because I just do. Really.
Well, because it's pointless.
It is pointless because they just go there to talk about poo.
Basically, they're just spending money to cover up the fact that climate change is a threat to the future. And, yeah.
I saw this. I saw this school in Cornwall. They mocked the G7, and I'm trying to find the photo now. It's really funny. Or actually, there's a cartoon on here, which it shows how greedy every leader is. And
yeah, I feel like they're all just greedy in their own ways.
Like Joe Biden. Look, Joe. I think Sharon as well. That we supported him at the start, right? But now I feel like Trump actually might have done. He said he didn't believe in climate change, so that's why he didn't do anything to make it worse or better. But Joe Biden said, "Oh, I'm gonna do all of these good stuff for the environment. But Joe, didn't you say he's signing some sort of bill?
I'm going to try and find it now. Greenpeace on Instagram.
It just
Said something that he's going to be signing a contract with like the Amazon, the leader of not Amazon, Brazil, to do something with the Amazon.
Oh, because
the thing is, I feel like even if like just all of them, it's really annoying because I believe them, and then I'm like, oh, actually, we're actually this is good, and then literally everything that's well, it's not really good, but everything I'm like, okay, this leader or this example MP is actually going to do actually good for the environment, and when it comes to the time that they're actually in there, they do absolutely nothing.
I think
like Joe Biden was just like, oh, I'm gonna join. Just really annoying because they just say they're gonna do this and that, and then they just do things that are against climate change and just gonna make it worse.
the USA, the only thing he's done is rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement. That's it. And in all honesty, they do absolutely nothing. Like, they've set targets, but is anyone actually reaching those targets and putting an effort into it? No. So I think, as we said many times before, they should introduce laws to make it mandatory to
actually do something.
Exactly.
Like they said
it's gonna be too late. It's
just.
Oh yeah, and with the Brazil Prime Minister Jair Bolsonaro, I don't know, but in Brazil there are massive protests to get him out of office, which is good. But I don't believe that anyone like better than him would come, to be honest.
Yeah, better the devil, you know.
But the amount of damage he's done already, it's actually depressing. Like, actually.
Everything is no. And it's very annoying, in my opinion.
So, this is what I've got. The US is negotiating a multi-billion-dollar climate deal with Brazil that observers fear that would help the re-election of President Jair Bolsonaro and reward illegal forest clearance in the Amazon. That's the only thing I can find on it.
If Joe Biden says, "Oh, let's get vaccinated, America. Every time once you get vaccinated, you have free donuts for a year." It's like, obviously helping the economy and all, but two things. He's trying to make this bill to cut down the rainforest, but in all honesty, you need the rainforest to make that vaccine, a bit of it. Maybe not that one, but a lot of other medication.
But the thing is,
I haven't finished. And giving people free fast food. Does he want another obesity problem in the USA? I don't think
do they need to? Do they need to do that? No, they obviously don't need to do that. But are they going to do that? Yes, they are going to do that. And the thing is, I have to admit, Joe Biden did do much better than Donald Trump in like helping COVID and vaccinating. That's literally the only thing he's actually done like good in the time he's been in office. Then since that, he just hasn't done anything to do with climate change like he promised he would.
But thankfully, he's only in office for 2 years because he's getting very old. So, who's the
Who? Joe Biden?
Yeah, who's his not secretary? The one that was in the purple jacket.
Oh, I don't know. I've said
her name, but oh, Kamala Harris. That's the one. I hope she does do a bit better for the environment.
Actually, yeah.
Will that be the first US female? That is mental.
Yeah.
2021. Come on.
That is. I know.
It's mental.
The thing is, again, it goes to show that they all go, oh, we're going to make better for like everybody be equal and stuff. And then, like you just said, there's never been a female president in America, and they've all just been men. It's just like, what?
I'm not being sexist or anything, but I think sounds quite weird, but a woman in the role of a president or MP or whatever would do more towards more important stuff than things that they believe that are important. Because
Well,
Boris Johnson does these laws like, I don't know.
I hope
random
that
about zip
when it-
wires.
when it comes to it, because now it goes to show we just don't like, well, it isn't the only hope, but something we kind of need to happen is maybe someone that actually is going to do something about the environment. Maybe, as you said, maybe somebody female that's actually what she's promised is actually going to happen. And I just hope, yeah, that happens still.
Yeah, I think there was something that female prime ministers generally run countries better. Just like, I think I read something or I watched something, and countries with female leaders actually do more for the climate emergency.
Except for Margaret Thatcher. I say that. She's done... I actually hate her, but she's done a big role, massive role in helping climate change. She is not very good for the economy, and Wales, bleh,
Yeah.
a bit mental. She closed all the coal mines, but in the end, that did probably help the climate emergency.
I mean, it did, definitely.
So I do hate her, but that's the only one thing that's kind of good she's done.
Well,
No, it is good. It is good.
But not
Because
for the coal miners.
If
No.
if the coal mine was still going,
Oh.
I don't know what the hell would be happening right now.
They would be shut down probably because of health and safety regulations.
Oh yeah, but they were going to
Yeah.
start one in Cumbria now, so there's still ones in foreign countries that are like every day still going.
Yeah.
Like there's quarries everywhere.
Thank you so much for listening just for the past 6 months. We are taking a break now because of the summer holidays until September maybe, but there'll be 1 or 2 in the summer, and we are now doing it every week, not every, 1 week is an episode, next week that is
Every other week.
every other week.
Every other week.
And do you want to say anything?
Yeah, just thank you for watching.
Follow us on Insta. Make sure if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts to watch us on Google, not Google, YouTube.
On
And if you
YouTube
want-
and subscribe and like and comment, whatever. And
Actually, if you have any opinions that you'd like to join in on the debate, comment.
Don't comment, like,
Yeah, if you're a Karen.
yeah.
So-
Or a man Karen. Yeah.
great.
Or a Glenn.
Agree.
Or a Glennis. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, thank you so much for listening. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Right, Joe, are you coming past now to the
Yeah, I'm coming now.
divorce? Okay,
Divorce. Bye.
right. Oh, Thomas, I probably do. I'm gonna probably break land with shoes. Gonna need God for an hour if you can hang a minute.
It's never break a lamb.
Like a man, a woman, and can't divorce.
I don't.
Yeah, adults. Although I'm about, why are you bloody doing this?
Well, I come.
Yeah, come to my house. Who's added a photo of Joe in? Was there a photo of Joe in the script?
I don't know.
Oh, I wonder. I'm so sorry.
It was late
Every
at
single-
night.
Every single time it gets to my bit, there's like words that just don't make
A
sense.
grammar issue.
So how are you avoiding me?
I'm on vacation every single day, every single day.